Good afternoon, everyone. It's Weather United here, and welcome back to another detailed update on the weather forecast because we have another update to share with you about this very cold Arctic air that is going to be moving in across the United States. We could see record low temperatures not only during the night but also during the day. But before I do get started though, I just want to update you all really quickly on my grandpa. He is doing a little bit better today. He is able to move his right side just a little bit. So just a little bit of movement with his right leg and his right arm, which is good news. So he is recovering pretty successfully. He is beginning to talk a little bit more. So he's not as aphasia, they call it, where he has a hard time getting out the word. So he is recovering pretty good. So I want to thank you all for praying for him and also leaving great comments in the section below of this video. So thank you all for supporting me during these hard times with what I am going through. But the hard time that you all are going through is this very cold air and some snow that is going to be moving across Oklahoma throughout the afternoon hours today. So here's a look at the GFS model for November the 14th. By the way, tomorrow is my birthday, so wish me a great happy birthday in today's video or in tomorrow's video, because I probably won't have a video out tomorrow. So snowfall going across Oklahoma into Missouri into Arkansas for your Monday night into Tuesday morning, and then some snow showers over Illinois, over Missouri, over Iowa, as well as portions there of Indiana. Just some light snow. We're not talking a whole lot of heavy snowfall accumulations. Some light to moderate rainfall across the southeastern U.S., but it's going to be that cold air that is going to be really moving in to the region by Wednesday, and you can see this. We take a look here at our 540 height line, or our isotherm. You can see where the average freezing level is in the atmosphere. So anything north of this, you're going to see some very cold polar air that's going to give you temperatures in the single digits during the day into the negative territory. We'll look at your temperature anomalies here in just a bit, but it's going to be cold, not so much snowy or rainy. You know, it's too warm for, or too cold for rain, but you get the idea. We're not looking at a lot of moisture in the air. We're not going to be looking at a whole lot of active, crazy weather. Instead, it's going to be those temperatures that are going to really bite you in the behind. So yeah, keep that in mind. Very big Arctic high too coming out of the north there at 1050 millibars, and that's going to bring in some of the cooler air in your region, and then it continues all the way throughout the next 5 days. Cold air, this northwesterly flow, really going to keep the cold air coming. But look at this, not much in the way of active weather other than the Great Lakes, where you're going to see quite a bit of lake effect snow showers, but that's really the extent of it. If you go back across the west, looking calm. If you go across the deep south, looking pretty quiet. But much colder is going to be the theme going forward through the rest of this week, is how cold it's going to actually get. And then by Sunday and by Monday, by next week, the week of Thanksgiving week, we should say, you can see that cold air really hanging around with maybe a chance of rain there for the Pacific Northwest. Now, taking a look at your temperature anomaly forecast, so I want to kind of give you as much detail as I can possible in this video. So when you look at these colors, you're probably thinking, what is David talking about? What is this? Why is this important? These are actually temperature anomalies. So if you think about it, say your average high is 60 degrees and your temperature is 40 degrees outside. That's the forecast high. Well, that's 20 degrees below average. So these colors kind of illustrate that versus your daytime average for this time of the year. So if you get green colors, dark blue colors, if you get purple colors, that indicates temperatures are well below average. So when you get into the purples, that's like 25 to 40 degrees below average. So that's more substantial versus if you are in the lighter blue colors, where temperatures are like, say, 5 to 8 degrees below average. So the deeper the green colors, the blue colors, and the purple colors, you see typical well below average. Okay, so going all the way through Thursday, temperatures will be well below average if you're in Missouri, if you're in Oklahoma, if you're in Arkansas. So you don't need to worry about how warm it's going to be this week, because it's going to be cold either way you put it. Even so the sun shines, it's going to be pretty chilly out there, and then it still comes in. Look at all this cold air a resurgence of that Arctic air coming out of the north by Thursday and by Friday. And look at this. I mean, my goodness. Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota, if you're in Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, you're going to have temperatures probably on the order of 20 to 30 degrees below average. That is pretty substantial, and you might see some record low daytime highs. So in other words, your record or your daytime highs will be the coldest probably in a daily average, since might even see some weekly average record low daytime highs and record low nighttime lows that are anticipated also. And that's going to continue all the way through the weekend of next week. So yeah, bundle up each day, because it's not going to warm up very much. Here's a look at the European model. We can see with what it's also showing that cold air really does continue for a while. And that goes all the way into Friday. Look at this. I mean, temperatures really cold out there. So really bundle up again if you're headed outside, because it's going to be cold this week. 20 to 30 degree temperature below average range for many areas, including for California. Not missing out on the colder air there. Just not going to be quite as cold as it could be, but it's going to be kind of chilly nevertheless for this time of the year. Especially the entire United States. Actually, we can say this entire week will be below average for some location. There's really not any areas that are going to see some very warm weather. So no, as far as those temperatures go, the actual air temperature for Friday morning, look at this. I mean, you have negative territory temperatures, including some negative temperatures up there across, say, the Dakotas, Montana, Wyoming, like Yellowstone. Wow, bundle up Friday morning. It's going to be pretty chilly out there, and it's going to still be cold out there by Saturday morning for a lot of locations. I mean, Tennessee could be in the low to mid 20s in the morning, even for northern Texas, Oklahoma, really cold to start your day, but it should warm up a little nicely there by the afternoon. You should warm up into the upper 40s to lower 50s, but not to the north, where there's a less sun angle. Means it's going to be really and we struggle to warm up there during the day. Even so the skies may be blue, just won't warm up as much. All right, so it might feel much colder than just, say, single digits because of the gusty winds 15 to 20 miles an hour. It's going to feel like negative 10 to negative 20 degrees in many areas Friday morning, so pretty dangerous. We could see wind chill advisories up in these areas because of how cold it's going to be, and that could continue all the way into Saturday morning. So really bundle up, folks. By the end of this week into the weekend, it's going to be very cold out there, so keep that in mind. So what is up with this weather pattern? Why is it really cold across the United States, you might be asking? What is the driver behind this weather pattern? Well, let's take a look here at our 500 millibar height map over the North America continent, including Canada, including Alaska. So this is going to show us what the pattern is setting up to being like that's going to lead to this. So first of all, we have this very strong amplified long wave ridge pattern that is going to be kind of anchored here across Canada into Alaska. In fact, Alaska is going to have some very warm temperatures, well above average for this time of the year, and this is going to amplify. So by Wednesday, look at that ridge. Daniel Swain on Weather West, also on his Twitter page, has been talking about this. This is a record breaking ridge. We have not seen a ridge this strong in forever. I mean, this could beat all climatological averages and records for the strongest ridge ever recorded in Alaska and in Western Canada. Very amplified wave pattern here. And the downstream wave is, or the downstream pattern we should say, is going to become more amplified. We have this big trough that is going to be anchored across the eastern U.S. into northern Canada, while this ridge here is over Alaska. And so you can think of big extremes here. We got extreme cold weather in the Great Lakes in the eastern and central U.S., while we have really warm temperatures over Alaska. Might not be super duper historically warm above average, but it's going to be above average, okay? That's all you need to know. When we look at our temperature anomalies, you can see there over Alaska, really just warm up there. I mean, in some sense, Alaska, let's just say this, Fairbanks, Alaska might be a little warmer than, say, areas down here in Montana and Wyoming. Put that into perspective. All because of this amplified wave pattern that is going to be in place, and that's going to continue. And as long as it continues, you're going to continue to see these surges of cold Arctic blasts that are going to be impacting the Great Lakes and slamming into the eastern U.S. and bringing more lake effect snow, since the Great Lakes are really warm. And then maybe the pattern might change thereafter. But until then, we have a long way ahead of us through much of this week to deal with very cold temperatures. In fact, again, record low temperatures during the night and during the day are certainly a possibility. Therefore, there is a high risk for hypothermia as very cold Arctic air again slams the northern tier and the Midwest here over the next week. You can see Wisconsin is under a high risk for hypothermia-like temperatures because of how cold it's going to be. And I mean, look at most of the U.S. here is under some kind of a threat for record-setting temperatures, and the risk for hypothermia anywhere between a slight risk to a high risk. I mean, that includes Kokomo, Indiana, and Indianapolis, right on the fringe there of a high risk for hypothermia. That means make sure you bring in your plants, your pets, and any livestock that you have, and make sure you protect outdoor water piping, because when water freezes, ice expands, and when it expands, it will do damage to your plumbing. So make sure you take that into consideration, because these temperatures will be dangerous for a lot of people that are not used to this type of cold weather this early in the season. I mean, we're not quite in Thanksgiving yet. Tomorrow's my birthday. That's mid-November, and we're talking about temperatures that typically are seen in January or even February. So let's just put that into perspective. This is this is a big deal for a lot of folks that live in the central and eastern U.S. Before I do end the video, everyone, I want to give you all, again, a huge shout out. Thank you for the awesome support for what I do here, despite visiting my grandpa in the hospital. I am on my way there today to see how he's doing after his physical therapy and occupational and speech therapy. So I do appreciate your support, everyone, during these hard times, and I will make sure I do my best at keeping you all updated here on Weather United when we have any more interesting or wild weather to talk about. But for right now, it looks calm other than those colder temperatures. But anyways, everyone, thank you all for tuning in to today's video. It was an honor for me to do this despite the hard times that I'm going through. And make sure you do subscribe, share this video with your family and friends, and also leave a comment in the section below this video. I love you guys, and I'll be back with you more very soon with more weather content.